Hey guys, welcome back to a very special late night episode of the Arthritis Podcast,
Very
official
late.
podcast of Digital and Creative Media Works. That's all the spiel I'm doing. I'm David, here with,
Hi.
as always, Ben, and special guest Laura.
Hello.
So we saw Rogue One at the midnight showing for some reason, because that seemed like a
Yeah.
good idea.
Well, it was an enjoyable experience.
You know what? I had fun.
Yeah, for once.
Now, we're not going to bother with the spoiler stuff, because this is, as always with these, we're just going to talk about the whole film. But I will say this
spoilers?
before... Well, if you haven't seen the film and you care about spoilers, don't listen to
don't
this.
listen to this. Listen
Um,
to the pre one because that is interesting.
That's spoiler free.
Yeah,
And we
it's
say
also
some
very
stuff
interesting.
that's completely incorrect,
Yeah.
which is good.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, everything we
which-
say in the first thing is completely wrong.
Which is honestly very on brand when you think about it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, yeah, if you haven't gone, if you don't care about spoilers, keep listening. If you do care about spoilers, go see the film, come back and listen to it. Or alternate third option, listen to enough podcasts that you get an idea of the story, then just come back. Should be fine. There'll be heaps that'll spoil it for you. So, what did we think straight away? Because we came out and we were all fairly positive, I think.
Yeah, we came
Despite
out.
the ending.
Yeah.
I like. It was the kind of thing where, sort of when the film started, I was like, yeah, I'm on board, I guess. And like midway through the film, I was like, I don't know where they're going with this. But like by the time like the third and final act came around, and especially the ending, which I actually like, because there's kind of two endings really.
Okay,
There's the ending and then there's the epilogue.
You know what it is? This is how I was thinking about it when we walked up. I didn't want to say it because I thought that it would be inappropriate in the cinema. But basically, what they did is they had like a 2-hour, like sweet striptease, awesome lap dance thing, and then in the last 30 seconds, they were just like go 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 go, and you're like, oh, I'm not ready. And then you're just done. And you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the last.
Pretty much what that was.
The last
Oh boy, that sequence. It was the last sequence. So basically, what they did is. It was an epilogue, so like structurally they had the
Yeah.
last sequence finished. They were like, "Here's the side sequence."
Let's
with-
kill off all the characters
where
you
we-
just spent 2
and we
hours
just have
enjoying.
Darth Vader butchering everyone, and fuck,
Yeah.
that was good.
That was-
Holy shit!
That was worth the price.
I
of
said the
admission.
one thing I wanted from this film is to see Darth Vader just cleaving through fucking.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
we've never,
that's exactly what you got.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
when-
I was so happy.
'cause we've never really seen that kind of thing.
I glowed a bit when it happened. When he
Yeah.
ignited his saber, I was like, "Yes!"
Oh, when it happened, I was just like, here we go.
I mean, the dude next to me was just like, yes.
I heard the guy behind me go, "Fuck yes!" and I was like, "Dude, all right, just I'm uncomfortable that I'm sitting behind you, go in front of you because I might cop some of that." But
I think everyone at that moment, like when
we were ready for it because it'd been so sad.
even just the moment when,
Ugh.
it showed the guys with the funky hats, like on the ship scrambling around,
The
I was
rebels?
just like, oh, they're doing it. Like they're actually tying it.
I didn't think they'd go balls to the wall and go
I
that
didn't
far
think they
in.
would. Like, I think the moment was when the Star Destroyer like came in and intercepted all of the warps.
Oh,
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
well, yeah, because
they're actually doing episode 4.
we had the scene with Tarkin, who was, by the way, weird and plastic and CG the whole time.
Yeah, because the actor is
Grand Moff Tarkin,
very
fucking,
old.
he's old, and it was super weird. They spent way too much camera time with him.
Yeah,
For
I think
CG
that was
that
the
did not look
problem.
that good, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like for me, the moment I saw him, I was like, he looks weird, and I was like, oh, he's rubber.
He even moved weird.
Yeah, well,
Like, I
it's
don't know-
just hard to pull
Did they?
off that.
Did they
kind
like?
It was a bit
how,
odd.
how do they do it? Do they like mocap?
They
Do they film the guy and then do
I don't
the
know if-
software?
I don't know if they mocapped him or they mocapped another actor. But either way, it won't look natural because you lose all of the
fidelity.
jittery motions that comes
make
with being a
people
human being.
feel like normal.
Yeah.
But then that being said, it still wasn't as good as the reverse aging CG in Ant-Man, which you haven't seen.
No.
But I don't know if you've seen it, Laura.
I've seen Ant-Man, yeah.
You know, at the start when it's like in the past and I can't think of who the old guy's name is, but the guy who was previously Ant-Man
Yeah.
goes into like the office and they like basically evict him from the board or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And that CG is like perfect. Like you don't even notice that
I
he's
didn't
been
realize
de-aged.
it was CG, actually.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because he looks. That's how good it is.
It
Like,
was I think for me what it reminded me of Tony Stark in Civil War.
Civil War, yeah, that was
Yeah,
creepy.
young Tony Stark reminded
Yeah.
me of that.
I didn't think that was creepy because I've seen a lot of. Actually, the reason I didn't think that was weird is because that's exactly how he looked. Like
What?
I suppose, right?
young Robert Downey Jr. Like I don't know if I don't know if you've watched
guess
much
it's
of
the
his
kind of
old
thing
films,
where,
but
like,
he looked
they're not-
exactly like that.
With this film, they were trying to recreate actors we've already seen. Like
and
even
actors
when they
that
did,
we've seen too much of.
yeah,
at that.
especially when they did Leia. Like that for me, I didn't mind it too much because it was only
it was only
she
a
didn't
couple
do much. She
seconds.
just kind of looked forward and said
But I
3
don't-
words.
As I was saying on the way out, they should have just filmed it from behind and had her just say the oh, what if she? And they're like, oh, we got the plans, and they hand it to someone who starts
Even
putting
if
it in
they
the droid.
even if she had just like dropped the hood and shown the hairstyle,
And
that
then-
would have been enough.
And then it would have been like, what did they bring us? And she goes, hope, and then it ends, and it's like, fuck you!
That-
You know,
that
the
would've-
music
yeah.
blooms or whatever.
Honestly, the moment you see like the white like dress,
Literally
you
the-
know
No,
it's
it's her.
Leia.
Literally, the moment
so
they opened the
obvious.
door, I was just like, it's gonna be Leia. Like,
Yeah,
it's, who
obvious.
else would it be? at this
Also-
stage?
because she has to get the plans for the whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can I brag? I said Bail Organa would be in this, and he's fucking in it.
Who?
Leia's father, the guy. You guys know Star Wars. The Bail Organa was the senator who.
Oh, he was like,
Yeah,
I know a
the one you're
Jedi.
talking
Yeah,
about.
Bail
Yeah.
Organa. He's because he's from the prequels.
Oh,
and
so
he was
was-
in this.
that
He
was-
was the guy who was in the prequels. Who was in this.
Right.
And I
okay,
fucking
yeah.
called
You
it.
did call it.
I said
yeah.
they would pick a senator and they
Yeah.
would put him in it, and it was
Well,
him.
Of course, it's gonna be. Leia's
I heard someone-
father.
Well, I didn't make the connection that he was Leia's father when I was
Yeah,
making the
neither.
observation, but it's very good. It's
I'm-
quite kind of obvious when you think about it.
I heard an audible sigh the first time they said the word Senate. When they were like talking. And they said the word Senate. It was a guy behind me and he's just like, ugh, Senate.
You know what?
Yeah, I feel
Reasonable
you.
I feel like
reaction.
we're all sick of
Yeah,
the Senate
we were just
by
like,
now.
oh, Senate stuff, fucking politics.
There was okay, so I don't think you believed me when I told you this, but when I saw the Force Awakens, and I was telling you like people did stuff like they cheered when people came on screen and they clapped at the end and shit.
Yeah.
You didn't quite believe me.
I
But
knew that I knew people were gonna clap at the end.
And that being
Um,
said, it was a fucking good
It
ending.
was a good end. Like,
Like, they
I
went out- they
I
were
was
like-
this close to clapping.
I mean, I was
um,
this close to
I just don't
crying
really-
before they did the hard cut from
Oh,
the white.
yeah.
If fuck, you know what they should have done. If they weren't too busy
Just
rubbing
ruin.
themselves off and cutting out my Darth Vader scene, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What they could have done is when so they're on the beach and the nuke comes in and it all fades to white. And you mix the chord progressions of the song they were using with like that the Force theme, but at like 75% speed.
At like
What?
75.
Oh, I don't know if you've heard that, but it's like the most chilling shit ever. There's a really
Right.
good someone did a fan cut trailer of a combination, like once The Force Awakens was out, they cut it together with using that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like it's one of those things that you see it and you're like, okay, chills. And they were this close to doing that and they
So-
were like, no, more stuff.
So one thing we mentioned before, how they, in the previous one, how they're kind of been like pulling things back from extended universe into canon.
Mhm.
Do any of the films reference lightsaber crystals, or is this bringing it back into
Not
canon?
that I can remember.
Not directly, but it's implied that. Here we
But is
go.
it
prequels?
explied- is it
Prequels
ex-
time. It's implied
okay.
that it's somehow the medical because a kyber crystal is like a manifestation of metachlorians
Right.
from nature.
Sure.
So it's like the physical representation of the Force.
Sure.
So in the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, there's a conversation about how Obi-Wan is talking about kyber crystals and why. So like,
Were
because
the novelizations cut from?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that this was way back, but they said that the novelizations aren't canon in the film universe. It's just the films.
No, but
But-
like the actual novelizations of the films themselves, not the
Oh,
Star Wars
okay.
novels. I mean,
Sure.
sorry, I should have clarified because so typically the novelizations are canon because they're written
'Cause
by
they're-
the same company that often does the script auctioning or whatever.
yeah.
So from memory, I don't think it's canon, but if
but,
it
well, it's the kind
so-
of thing where it's just like it's canon now.
But I thought what was nice is that at no point. Oh, they did hit it.
They did
the-
implicitly say it
Which-
at one point.
I think it's important because it's going to become a key plot point when the Knights of Ren are reforming and when you're trying to put together the Jedi Order again.
Especially with
with Luke having had his fallen Jedi Order. Where did they get the crystals from?
especially with
who
like
has
Kylo
crystals
Ren's
now?
shitty
Yeah.
fucking lightsaber, his crackly piece of shit.
These
with the
poorly
synthetics.
designed sabers
Yeah.
versus Luke, who can make a perfect one, but where's he getting the crystals? Are they
Yeah.
synthetic and not as strong? And therefore, like, I think the idea here is that you would have Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren having legitimate crystals, but not having the ability to know how to use them properly. Hence the heating vents, whatever.
I
Then
guess-
you have Luke and his cohort knowing, he goes to these old Jedi temples, he finds these old crystals, and then builds these perfect lightsabers. Maybe they don't have enough crystals, so some of them are synthetic and weaker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm imagining there'll be some kind of a playoff there where perhaps it's an inversion of the typical trope where the Jedi are like supernatural, not supernatural, but very natural.
Yeah.
And then the Sith are like synthetic or whatever. I would like to see an inversion of that because we kind of got that a little bit with like thematically. Because for once, Jin wasn't really a hero for most of it. She was just
none of the characters were really heroes.
Just
Like
criminal,
they-
just a criminal, just
they-
a guy.
yeah,
I mean,
they
someone
really-
would just along for the ride, honestly.
Yeah, and which was awesome because like how much fun was. Well, you know what I was concerned about actually, and this I was kind of quelled with this sort of almost immediately when the team got together properly, which is when they first escape from the planet that goes.
Yeah,
up
that
or whatever.
gets wrecked. Yeah.
I was really worried that what they were going to do is they were going to kind of like try and find a really like ham-fisted way to get these guys to become a team. But really all that happened is they were just traveling to the same place together.
Yeah,
They never
like,
became
they-
a team. They just went, you know what, we'll help you out.
Yeah, we're a bunch of people.
Yeah,
and
they
we have
never.
to survive.
They never like Power Rangered it up.
I mean, they had the inspiring speech or whatever from Jin Erso, but like,
which was fucking pretty. It was pretty good, and it wasn't too cheesy.
No,
you know,
it wasn't. It wasn't like I'm gonna like pan around the camera and have like 16 Dutch angles during
and
this
it wasn't just
inspiring
like after
speech.
that. It was like, you know, people were just like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
were
okay,
no.
cool.
There was no like big inspiring moment. It was just speech. People like, okay, cool.
And then when they get, what I really liked actually is the quote from Lao Tzu when they get off the ship, and he's like, "Make 10 men feel like 100 or whatever."
Yeah.
The version of theirs was.
I think that was a cool line because that was basically what they tried.
That
to
was
do.
their plan. And
I-
it wasn't, I thought
I
it
mean, they-
wasn't too on the nose because it was their plan.
Yeah.
But if he'd been like, if they were like, "We're gonna storm the beach," and he was like, "Gonna make 10 men feel like 100," you'd be like, that's a little cheesy.
Well, yeah, because it was really.
Yeah.
I liked. We were talking about this before that like how we kind of wanted we didn't really want the characters to be the main forces in the fighting, and towards the
Yeah.
end, like sort of half of them were, but that's because like with the machine gun guy and the blind dude, like names, like they were kind of. I got names here. We got Chirrut Imwe, which is the blind dude, and I think Baz Malbus was
That's
the
a fucking strong name.
yeah, it's a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two.
Star Wars has a lot of good names, doesn't it?
Like those
Dexter
two.
Jetster.
Those two were a
What a
cool
strong
combo,
name.
and like they, I love the bolt caster. I'm so glad to see more
His
bolt
his like
casters.
weird bow thing.
Yeah,
That wasn't
Yeah.
I think that was like a modified.
it's like a longbow bolt caster.
Fuck, that was cool.
Oh,
Because
that was
Wookiees
awesome.
Wookiees have like the crossbow bolt casters.
Yeah, and he had the longbow.
and he had the longbow version.
Fuck
It
yes.
was so cool, but
It's very
like
cool.
just having a blind guy firing off
But it was
projectiles was
Oh,
awesome.
real cool. And like every time, although I will say this, anytime he brought out the stick, I was like, "No, don't," because it was cool, but I
I
just
was like half expecting that thing to turn into a goddamn
well,
lightsaber.
it was made from handles of lightsabers,
Yeah.
so I was like, maybe I don't know, but
I
it just
kind
felt,
of wanted it to just like crack and be like a yellow and just be like,
Oh.
yes,
if he'd like
rogue Jedi.
oh no,
or
not
rogue
even
Force
that,
user.
but like if he's got the stick out of his handle or whatever, and at one point they're like, "Oh, we're like pinned down or whatever," and he just snaps it in half and pulls out the saber from inside. Oh, I would have fucking lost my mind.
Oh,
But instead, it was just a weird stick that was kind of weird to hit stormtroopers with.
It was just
And like, were they made of paper mache in this one? Because there was a lot of like white bits flying off them when they got hit.
Yeah, there was a lot of like they
Yeah.
would get hit like on the head, and then it would like show their helmets just kind of pristine and
I don't think
fine,
we've
but
ever
they were
seen
dead.
any of them get like bonked a bunch.
I think the,
Like a lot of
Yeah.
blaster bolts and sabers, but never just getting hit.
there was a lot of bonking in this film.
There was a lot of head
well, I mean, there
bonking.
were people with like, you know,
Just,
proper
like,
like
yeah.
melee weapons, you know.
Yeah, it was much. I thought that the fighting, particularly the hand-to-hand stuff, when it did happen, was much more like this was a super
Also,
violent.
holy
film.
shit,
Yeah.
they technically they explained the bad guy aim. They technically explained bad guy aim in the sense that it's just the Force. When he's walking from
He means
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
means
yeah,
bad
yeah.
guy, not the bad guys.
I didn't.
Bad guy
I
aim.
thought you meant the overall goal, not
No,
the
no.
aim of their weapons.
No, like
You
Yeah,
meant
bad guy
why the
weapon aim.
stormtroopers are bad at shooting
Yeah.
guns. That was
Because-
I was like, what are you talking about? The
Bad guy
Empire are evil. Of
Bad
course
guy
we know
aim.
what the aim is.
yeah, so bad guy
You
aim.
see where we got
They-
confused?
Yes, no,
aim,
it's fine.
aim,
Yeah.
aim.
I
No,
mean-
they totally
I
explained
mean,
bad guy
talking
aim.
about his send off, I mean, all throughout that last sequence, I was like, no,
I was
no,
just like,
why?
he's dead.
But like,
He's dead.
at the same time, it was fitting. It was a good send off for him.
Yeah, I thought it was it was a respectful treatment of what
I
they
feel
done
like
so
all
far.
of the characters except maybe the pilot got good send offs.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Pilot
just got, he just got
he just
grenaded.
got
Yeah.
blown up.
But you know what? That made it feel a little more like I don't know. I think that was a good
'Cause
decision.
he was never a
'cause-
major.
but it
Like
also,
he did
yeah.
his job. That's the
and
thing.
it stopped it from being like everyone's dying. How sad. He went really quickly.
Also, they literally had to kill him
so did
because
the big guy.
like
He just kind of staggered a bunch.
yeah, but he went on like a rampage before he.
But it wasn't really a rampage.
No,
It
I
was
feel
a
like he could
bit
have
of
done
a
more.
rampage.
But he didn't like get up and he was like, "No, my friend," and then start shooting people.
He should have like
He
taken
just
out like
tanked on. You know what I mean?
He should have taken out like an AT-AT or some shit while
he
at
almost
it.
did a Sean Bean, really, but
Almost.
It was this
Full
close.
of arrows,
I think the
yelling after two small Irish people.
the weirdest part was like the tech differences between
Oh yeah, there was some weird
like
stuff.
the whole idea of the AT-ATs, the big four-legged ones, being able to be
I'm
taken
nodding
out.
because you're right.
Yeah, being taken out by just
Wait.
small arms fire.
No, AT8. What are the...
There's
two-legged
the two-legged
ones
ones. Let me Google it.
It's AT-AT and something else.
Yeah,
Because it's like the argument of AT-AT versus AT-AT, which is dumb.
AT-AT is the all-terrain armored transporters, the big four-legged ones.
What's the two ones?
I
I
don't know. I wouldn't know because I can't Google it.
can't fucking remember.
Anyway.
We should
Anyway,
probably know that.
Like, it was weird, like, because they were just getting taken out by regular arms fire, and at first I was just like, isn't that like not how it works? Because in episode like the
they
Hoth
needed
battle,
to tie the legs together to take them
yeah,
out.
I think what they were kind of implying, and especially because some of them had like weirdly colored armor.
well, they were
plates.
very much in disrepair.
I think it was a case where like they were like early version
Well, I just...
Prototypes.
AT-ATs.
I thought
Yeah.
they were just in like this like old disrepair. Like they just were...
I think-
they weren't being used frequently because it was a planet with a fucking shield generator.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah.
been. Yeah, that could have been why.
But
they
that
were
and the
older
rebel
versions.
ships that they were using to do
I
that
mean-
and take out the legs were destroyed in the battle, so they're not going to have
I
those.
mean,
in
given
New
how
Hope.
much
Yeah,
defense
true.
they had on the place, like they had the shield up over, they had a whole bunch of
Yeah.
like
They had so
fighters.
many.
You're not using those AT-ATs a
they,
lot.
they had so many
You
TIE
know.
fighters
the,
in
yeah,
that
they
bloody
had
Holy
ship
so
generator.
many.
It's just
I know
And
that-
a lot of
warm.
pilots standing by and a lot of stormtroopers.
Which
Yeah.
I get,
It was
but
heavily guarded.
it's a fucking planet where you've got this massive shield. What the fuck? Why there was so many fighters? I know it's because they have the CG budget to do it now, and in the old ones they were all models, so they could only do
Yeah.
like a certain number on the screen at the same time. But like it rang a bit of the prequel, like
They
when-
didn't even.
like
when-
we have
like,
the
when-
CG budget now. Let's go.
yeah,
ham.
when there's like when the in the prequels when they have like the star stations or whatever, and the bay doors open and like
Yeah.
5 million droid ships come out, and you're like, what?
Like,
It kind of was a bit like that. I was like,
and
what the
like the
fuck?
rebels don't even get worried about them being outnumbered. They're just like,
At
oh,
no point is
fighters.
someone like,
oh, we're
"There's
outnumbered.
so many."
Yeah,
Like,
no.
and
it
the
just-
tide
just
of the
like,
battle
there are
didn't
so many
really
of those.
like change much.
and
from that.
it was very Star Wars in that nothing happened until the end.
And, like, kudos on that one TIE fighter who took out like 3 enemies. 'Cause, I mean, all the TIE
Is it-
fighters look the same, but like
so many. Okay, here's the problem.
they
like,
kept doing that shot
there
over
was
and over.
you know the best shot in the prequels, which is the opening of Revenge of the Sith before any line of dialogue, which is where
the space battle.
it's the space battle
Yeah.
where Luke and Obi-Wan are like in their 2 Jedi fighters, and they're kind of drifting
Yeah.
through this beautiful star battle that's happening above this planet.
Yeah.
It's like this like it is.
It's one of the best
Like
scenes in
it's one of the best scenes in Star Wars, and it's the best scene in the prequels because
Yeah.
there's no dialogue and it's just this beautiful like Star Warsy shot or whatever.
Yeah.
And you get a sense of both characters from how they fly their ships. It's like perfect or whatever. But the one thing that scene does incredibly well is it shows you get a sense of scale, stakes, and function of that space battle. You understand what the high priority targets are, who's winning, who's losing, what the situation is. With this one, it kind of fell into the Star Wars trap that Force Awakens did a bit, where it was just like,
Ships.
here's one ship killing 2 ships, and here's
Yeah.
2 ships killing 3 ships, and it's all
I will admit,
ships
Yeah.
shooting at a bigger ship.
The idea behind the Hammerhead Corvettes is fucking sick.
That
Like,
was awesome.
that's,
that
like,
shot
those are
with,
pretty
like,
cool.
the 2 ships ramming into it. That was great.
That was very
I
very
just-
Star Trek though. I tell you,
Yeah.
it was like very like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
2 big ships hitting 2 other big ships. Like I was like, something's happening here. Did someone call Marvel? Did they ask that they could do this?
I just
Is
find it
okay?
like from like 'cause
Like, yeah, it was very.
they don't use those ships in any of the others, but it's like even just the idea because when like the big like the small hammerhead was crashing into this big one, I was just like the small one's just gonna bounce off it, like
No, it's meant to latch on there.
yeah, which was really cool,
That's
especially how
quite
they,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, especially how they showed like when he was like, all right, we're crashing into the Starship Cruiser, he just like holds onto a thing.
Yeah.
And then it shows the shot of everyone in the Star Cruiser just getting absolutely thrown around you.
Get
And,
fucked.
I mean,
and you're
like-
like, oh, it actually just like transfers all of its energy to the Star
I mean,
Cruiser.
it's really cool that they went with like different ideas for different kinds of starships and stuff because you know you
They
need
had-
some variety.
And it's
mentioned-
nice to see something new as well.
Yeah.
They
But
mentioned
also,
U-wings.
well,
I was
here's,
like, what the fuck is a U-wing?
here's my beef. It's David's beef
David's
moment
beef.
because
Sure.
I'm an infinite wellspring of rage at this time of night. Something that did bother me, and I guess they kind of fixed it by having all of the rebels get killed or whatever, but they did this thing with the tech and the style of the tech, and it's mainly the style I have a problem with. The
Sure.
Empire's style and the kinds of clothes that they were wearing and the way that they were wearing them and the kinds of outfits that they had on the planets didn't really make sense with the latter films. They made sense with it was a good midpoint where it was like, okay, prequels, you know,
Yeah.
the prequels had this
prequels
style,
was fairly high fantasy.
and then Empire was, and then the new ones were much more like
low-tech,
low tech Western kind of thing.
yeah.
It's like a nice balance, but because this then bumps itself onto the end of or the beginning of A New Hope
Yeah,
so directly,
it's just so close.
I was like, there's no distance for them to go from these Imperial droids who walk around and function perfectly, who like have complete flexibility of movement.
Yeah, to the little shitty black droids that on the floor.
To only
Yeah.
mouse droids around and
I mean-
no variation of stormtroopers.
That's an issue that you get when you're trying to slot something in before these films, which had to be so low tech.
Technically a prequel.
Yeah,
This was
yeah,
technically a prequel.
technically a prequel.
Yeah.
So yes, and that's exactly right. Like, and that's kind of the problem. But I thought that
To be honest, I don't care just because I like the ending. Like it is the kind of thing where it's just like, you know, maybe there's some reason why, you know, those Imperial droids don't exist in the prequel in the
Okay, and
original
I get it. I
trilogy,
know there's an
but,
explanation,
like,
but- you know what? Actually, I'll forgive it because they gave me my pornographic Darth Vader killing people scene.
yeah.
And fuck, he caught a phaser blast in his hand and threw it back. Holy fuck.
Oh yeah, he did the
He did the Kylo Ren.
Kylo
move.
Ren.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so good. But he did it real quick too. He was like, a guy shot him and he's like, and he
Well, that's
threw
the
it back.
crazy thing because
Real
then
good.
it's
Fuck.
that-
I like.
that
Well,
actually-
Laura's giving me a look like.
well,
I've
that
done
actually
something
says a
wrong,
lot
but it's
about-
real good.
that says a lot more about Kylo Ren than what because like when we
But
had-
Vader also did the choke without
Yeah, he
looking
did
at the
that.
guy,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
he did a Kylo Ren choke where he's not directly doing.
Well, that's
it.
the thing, because when Episode 7 came out and we were talking about Kylo Ren, when like with the holding the blaster shot that he does in
in
the first scene,
stasis. Yeah.
I was like, oh, in my mind, I was like, you know, he's not that good of a Sith. Maybe that's like a weird parlor trick kind of thing, where it's just like he's like taught himself to do this one cool thing just to intimidate people.
Which again, he probably has.
Well, yeah, again, like that's probably the reason. But then them going back and going like, actually, no, Darth Vader did it. You're like, oh, like it kind of it
Yeah.
makes Kylo Ren seem a bit more.
Oh, scary in some
Yeah,
ways.
and like legitimate in a sense.
Well, I think that something. I mean, watching that Darth Vader sequence was really interesting because what they did is instead of doing what they could have done, which is have him come in and fight like Anakin, they came in and they had him fight like a nice midpoint, right?
Yeah.
Where he's fluid and he's quick. But we saw him in the bacta tank earlier, soaking, trying to like recover from
having a Vader
whatever his.
laugh.
And that was a battle in the comics.
Really?
It's this amazing
Oh.
comic book where Darth Vader gets stranded on a planet full of rebels. And it's one of the best comics that they've ever done. I don't know if it's technically not still canon, but I assume it was a nod to the canon, to
Right.
the comic book or whatever. But he gets stranded on this planet, and there's this great sequence where he gets his ship crashes for some reason, or he's stuck there or whatever. And through the sequence of the comic, he eventually ends up in this like open space, like a field or whatever. And these rebels start swarming in from these dropships, and it's just like he's surrounded by rebels, and they're like, "Surrender! You're done. There's so many of us. You're done.
Yeah.
You're trapped. You're our prisoner." And he's like, "No. You're my prisoners." And he just starts fucking like he just goes in, and he's like fucking throwing dudes and throwing his light. It's fucking great. And they took some of the cues from that where he's getting slower. Like he did a few moves where there was actually one point where he steps to the right and he swings his saber from his hip. And you could see it catch on the metal plating. And he
Yeah.
kind of then had to flick his wrist. So they kind of did a really interesting thing with the movement where he was very fluid and dangerous, but clearly getting a bit broken down.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking good. And he forced through a dude into the ceiling.
Oh, that
Fuck,
was
that's
sick.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was awesome.
So happy with how that went. Oh, boy. If they just did that, fuck, man. I love that shit. I'm not a big, like, action junkie, but that was my one thing I wanted, and I'm so happy I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think of... Because we did talk about in our episode before this idea that they wouldn't necessarily be causing these battles. They would be passing through these big events to
Yeah.
get what they wanted, which is how they started the film.
Yeah, it started off that way.
What did you think of Jin's adopted father character, who was basically a villain?
I mean, he had
He
so...
fed a dude to a weird tentacle monster.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they kind of did that, and like with the little bit with the fucking main character dude, I forget his name, like shooting his like informant in the like in the alleyway at the start of the film.
Um,
Like I feel like they just kind of did these things to
Yeah.
just set them up as being, you know, kind of quote unquote bad guys.
But like, did they need to?
I think they
I mean,
were
like for me, with the guy shooting the informant at the beginning, that was kind of told me like he'll do whatever he needs to do to get the job done.
To get what he needs done, yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I thought it was pretty clever where like later on when he gets the order to kill Jin's father,
Oh, right, you
You're
just
like-
expect him to do it.
Yeah.
he'll do it.
Yeah, because we've seen him ice a dude at the start of the film. No,
Yeah.
actually, you're right. It did. No, you're totally right. It did add to the dramatic tension of that idea because instead of what you normally have with a hero, which is he's never going to shoot a guy.
yeah.
With this dude, you're like, he
He's-
fucking iced that guy in a
yeah,
It's
heartbeat.
totally
like,
gonna shoot
he's
a guy.
gonna shoot him.
Oh, that's a really good. I didn't even think of that.
And I think,
Also, fuck how good was Mads? What we're talking about.
He was so good.
Oh,
he was very good.
I mean, and you know what? Really good use. As you said, he wasn't a villain. I don't know how I feel about it, but I really enjoyed him, and I think they used him.
yeah,
well.
I mean, in
there
terms
was
of
some proper emotional moments with
in
it.
terms of predictions,
I had a lot of feelings.
like in terms of predictions, him being the reason why the Death Star has that major flaw again has issues because of the whole.
I'm confused. Here's my gripe. Didn't no, hang on. Of course he's dead. I was gonna say, didn't the dude in the sweet cape know that there was the vent shaft, but then the whole planet got glassed, so
Yeah,
obviously
he's dead.
Yeah, he didn't know it.
Yeah.
So, well, no, he
He knows, but he's
Well,
now Adams.
She told him that there was a vulnerability. He didn't know where it was.
Well, she told him that there was as long as you blow up the main core, it's gonna fuck the whole system, and he has the
didn't
Death
say
Star
that
plan.
to the dude in the white, did she?
She said some version
She
of that.
said
Yeah.
something about, oh no, he built a weakness into the system.
She then
Like,
did go on
didn't-
to explain that there was a fuse that if you hit would explode the whole system.
Yeah,
Sure.
she's just like there is a.
I don't know if I'm remembering that wrong or not.
Nah, fuse was the right one.
At that point, I was
Okay,
tired enough
sure.
that I was like,
Yeah,
good,
Yeah.
and real sad. I was also real sad because I was like,
Yeah.
the minute
I had a lot of feels.
the minute that they were like limping to the elevator, I was like, they're both fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like I just like,
that
oh
was-
no.
Like they know they're dead. You know that everyone's just like, yeah, okay.
Also, first time we've seen like beaches in Star Wars that don't look weird.
yeah.
I'll say
I-
that.
It
Was
was
that
a
not?
really pretty planet.
I mean, gorgeous.
Just the
fucking planet.
entire
Was that like fucking like Hawaii or somewhere?
It was
Like,
beautiful.
fuck, man.
the
I would
entire
lo-
the
yeah.
entire film had really good environments.
And never, I was gonna say, you know what I loved was that, when on that planet that was raining, where they went to go find Mads, where he dies, the rain felt real for the first time in a Star Wars film when it was raining. It wasn't like weird and cheesy, and like it was in the clone Attack of the Clones. You know, in Attack of the Clones when he's on Geonosa and it's like always raining all the time, and he's fighting outside with his lightsaber and there's no fizzling of
Right.
rain
Yeah.
on the lightsaber. I felt like the rain in this was much more realistic when it was there.
You don't have to do the fizzle. That's good.
Well, yeah, he dodged
Just
that
no
bullet.
really, yeah.
But even like the way that they did the lighting in the rain and the way that like clothing worked, they clearly put lots
Dude,
of
I
effort
loved
into it.
I loved their little like fucking like rain outfits that
The
they
little
had in that
ponchos
scene.
and the hats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those little
that
hats
was
with the
really
goggles,
funny.
so cute. Love those.
That was a reference to both Return of the Jedi when they wear those weird hats in the forest, and
Yeah.
also pod racing because the prequels are a thing,
Oh
and
God.
it was really similar to a
You
bunch
really
of hats in that.
Don't need to reference pod racing.
No, but they were some of the
No one
best
wants
parts
to
of the
remember
prequels.
pod racing.
The game was amazing on the
literally-
Nintendo
Oh,
64.
the pod racing game
Fuck
was
them-
amazing,
Fuck,
yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, but the sequence in the films though.
The best part of episode 1 is the pod racing.
It's the standout of the episode, but that's
Yeah.
not saying much.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is it? No, the Darth Maul fighters, of course. No, are you kidding me?
Yeah. no,
Fuck.
I
Yeah,
agree.
come on.
Liam Neeson
Yeah, the Darth-
fighting a guy?
yeah. Darth Maul
Fucking
fight is
good.
really good.
Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor, but like, oh fuck, Darth Maul, what a character. But no, like, what I was gonna say was, I felt like her adopted father, whose name I can't remember, because it was a film and we don't remember names of people in films.
Yeah.
Soul something.
Saul.
Saul is good. We'll take Saul.
It's like Saul G something.
Soji Sandwich, something like that.
Saul Guerrero.
Saul Guerrero.
Saul
Saul
Guerrero.
or Saul?
SAW. Saul
Saul.
Guerrero.
Oh, it sounded
Saul.
like Soul to me.
I thought
Yeah,
Saul.
it's
Anyway, Saul. I
Saul
thought.
Guerrero.
I thought the first few times he spoke, it took me a minute to like catch onto his accent.
Oh yeah, that was odd.
Yeah.
I was like, you're doing some like a fucking Bane shit.
It was
Yeah,
weird.
it was a bit odd.
Yeah.
They didn't like modulate it clearly, but they were like talking a weird.
were like, just
way.
talk weird,
Sound like
man.
you're ill.
He was the
Sound
one
real
like
old, yeah.
introduced character in the film, which I feel like they didn't give much in terms of
Because
backstory
they
or
killed him
reason to
nearly.
be there.
Yeah, they killed him nearly immediately.
Well, it was weird because our introduction to him was like he saved our
saving-
main character, and then the
saving
next
Jin, and then
the
that's
next
it.
minute he's like feeding a dude to a weird brain
Yeah.
slug octopus, and you're
Yeah,
like,
I think they
is
needed.
this guy a monster? Like,
yeah.
because why would you speak like kill him? Get it? Like, I know that she wasn't sent there to kill him, but if you found out that your like adoptive father was feeding people to brain octopuses, ice that motherfucker.
He said something about like the brain scrambling thing, and I thought the pilot dude would be just gone after that.
He was fine after like an hour.
Fine. I'm like, sure.
He was
I
like, I
think
had a
it
cup
was
of
like
What
tea.
in that sequence then?
I think that was like a thing that like
It-
sucks
yeah, Because
information.
but I get it.
I
But
don't
like the
know.
characterization clash that it caused, I'm with you. It was just too like it's too dramatic to then be like, but he's gonna get redeemed because he's gonna stay here and die. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Like, how does that redeem him
I mean,
in any way, though?
I
It's
guess he
just
couldn't
like,
have-
oh,
He couldn't have limped to safety because he would have been too slow.
No, that's
So I get
why.
it. He was dead anyway.
Yeah.
But like, don't make it be like I'm gonna face my fate. Like,
I think they needed at least like one more sequence with him and Jin for it to matter, because they gave us like the briefest.
there
maybe
was a
bit of
brief
it.
like argument, and then he's like, "Oh, here, watch this thing."
Yeah.
Tip-
Oh yeah. By the way, what's this?
here's your dad. But to be
Yeah.
honest, they kind of did that with Mads as well, where they were like, he was a kid. Mads is real loving, even though he's bad. He's working for the bad guys, and he's loving you, and he's your
Yeah.
Stardust, and you're real good.
He's
I
a
mean,
farmer.
It worked for me.
He
mean,
melted my heart, but
it
I'm
was
just
a little. I think it was a little easier for Mads, just because he was the whole father figure thing.
yeah, he's very
With
fatherly.
this other guy, you have no idea what his deal is.
And also, how does he get around and do normal day-to-day stuff?
got a
in
power
that
suit.
weird suit thing.
It's a power suit.
Like, yeah, but like being raised by someone like that's gotta be real weird, right?
yeah.
You can't go play catch with him because he's real shit.
That's why she he abandoned her when she was 16.
Which I just thought that was unnecessary.
Yeah, I thought it was a
Don't tell us what happened. Just let it be that like
bit. Yeah, just let it be
like
some.
she'd be like, you fucking abandoned me. And he's like, I didn't. That's not how it
Yeah,
went down.
but,
She's
like-
like, I don't care. And then have them argue about it. Like the point is that he left, not that what happened
Yeah.
happened. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Yeah, I thought they did that a few times where they focused a little too much.
It felt like they were just trying to give Jin Erso more story with that.
Yeah, they were trying to make her a little more complex. It's like her mother died and her father's a bad guy, maybe, but maybe not. And also her adopted father's probably a bad guy, also.
Yeah.
Like what? And then
But
she's
he dies, so it doesn't matter.
She didn't do enough crime for my taste. I wanted to see more crime.
Yeah, they
Even
well,
just
they,
a montage of crime of her.
yeah, they just
doing
kind of
crime.
like glossed over her crime and just threw
Yeah. It's
started
just
her
straight up,
story in a
she's
jail.
In a prison,
I was
sure.
confused by the structure of the world at this point because the Senate still exists and Jin had done crimes that like she resisted arrest, she assaulted people, like she had a list of crimes or whatever that she had done that they listed, but they weren't against the Empire. They were just crimes that she'd done, which says to me that the Senate still exists, which we know because Bail
Well, it
Organa's
did.
like will go to the Senate,
Yeah.
but
And they were talking
to
they
the
were
yeah
talking
to the
about
Senate.
the Senate must not hear of this and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
But I'm confused because shouldn't the rebels know that the Senate is run by the Emperor, who is Palpatine,
Yeah.
who at this point we all know is evil? Him and Yoda fought in the Senate. They threw discs at each other for a bit,
Yep.
and they both
Big
did
ass
weird
floaty
CGI
discs.
flips.
Yeah.
And we saw this. We saw Palpatine's bum. That happened. Let's not forget.
Really?
He gets flipped over back in his chair, and Yoda sees his bum. At any rate, beside the point, just a fun
Thanks.
Star Wars fact.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck the prequels. Anyway, so at this point, we know that he's like a Dark Emperor that's ruling the galaxy, whatever.
Yep.
But the Senate still exists, but for some reason, they're like,
No, it's
we
fine.
care about your crimes that you did, even though they were probably against the Empire. Like, I just it's so like I'm like
I don't think
It's like,
like,
oh, you
these
go
are the-
free. I'm like, I don't understand.
these
why
are the
this is
leaders of the
relevant.
rebels. Why are they treating her like a criminal?
I don't think it was like oh, here are the crimes you did, like you're an evil person. I think it was more of like, wow, you've got a bit of a record on you. Like they were using it as a bargaining thing.
No, I
Like,
get
more
that.
of-
No, I get it. But like, is that effective if you're the rebels and you're the people that are like, we're gonna overthrow the government?
Even with that, like her initial stakes didn't really feel like much of a stake. Really.
I don't understand why she had to help because you're
because
not
plot.
wrong. Well, no, because she could have just been like, nah, fuck off, I'm gonna live in a bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Would have been fine. They would have been like, all right, we're not the Empire.
Well, I think maybe
go do
they
you.
they just like name dropped her dad, and she was like, all right, I'm on board.
Yeah, that's fair. If he was Mads Mikkelsen, you'd be like,
Yeah.
I will help.
Yeah.
What specifically if your dad is Mads Mikkelsen?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Almost certainly.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
Or, who's a good father figure? I'd take Pat Rothfuss. He's got a mad beard. It's like down to here.
God, wizard beard.
He's real wizardy. But no, what I was gonna point I was gonna bring up in the car that I was trying not to because I wanted to talk about it is all of the characters used either a tiny blaster or a massive fucking gun when
Yeah.
they were shooting people. Did they not have
Just,
normal
like,
rifles?
Normal guns.
We saw one, but it was given to the robot, which then magically transformed into pistol size for him for some reason. But like, yeah, again, there was like a lot of inconsistency with how do the weapons work because clearly the guy, the the big Asian bloke who was like the tank guy with the big gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was using Clone Wars technology,
Yeah.
right? So his gun was like Clone Wars era
Yeah.
because it
Right.
was like a chain fed.
Yeah.
It was like
blaster or
those
whatever.
weird, like, blocky modular guns.
Yeah, and then he also had like the
He also had
shoulder
a
pads.
rocket launcher, inexplicably.
Well, he had a rocket launcher from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I know because the the Star Wars MMO storyline,
Star Wars.
which is no longer canon.
How do you know so much
Old
about
Republic.
The
Star
Old
Wars?
Republic.
I used to know nothing, and the more that we done this show, the more people send me letters complaining that I know nothing. So I slowly, and also we have a friend Christian who kindly educates us every few years.
Yeah.
Every
Every
year.
time there's a new Star Wars
Yeah, every
out,
6 months
we
he comes
talk
in
about him, and then
he comes on the show and he's
comes
like,
in
"You were
and
wrong about all
explains
of
it.
this."
Oh, we should get him
Sure.
in for a...
We will. We need to because I need to stop getting
'cause
letters.
It's a new Star Wars.
But what the fuck was I saying? My brain is starting to go. Help.
My brain's been gone for a while.
Guns.
Yeah.
Guns.
Guns.
Clone Wars guns.
Yes.
Rocket launchers. Yeah, he had a shitty Clone Wars rocket launcher that did fuck all.
It did nothing, yeah.
But also, here's why I'm confused. If they have rockets in Star Wars, and it's
Yeah.
not like a
Sure.
photon rocket, like it's in Star Trek or whatever, if it's just a rocket, that's better than a blaster. Why didn't everyone have fucking rockets? Why don't all the stormtroopers in the new ones just have fucking rockets all the time?
Because-
you know how you kill
Those
you know how
require-
you know how you kill a fucking Jedi? Rocket.
You don't...
Done.
You don't... For the same reason we don't use rockets at the moment.
What's that?
Because they're just dangerous. You don't want to run around with rockets.
True.
They're also heavy. And they miss.
I guess. But like why aren't all the like AT-ATs and stuff using those instead of lasers? Is a rocket not as good as a laser?
They were kind of just using...
What's better?
Generally
Ben?
explosive.
Ben, what's better, a laser or a
I mean,
rocket?
the
You must
rocket launcher
decide.
did
Lasers are
require
cool.
manual reloading.
Mm.
Yeah, oh, you're right. But the rifles run out of charge packs. You got to reload them.
They don't run out of the charge packs in the film.
No, well, because it's a film. You don't want to.
They
You don't
don't
want to
run
see
out of ammo
between
in the
scenes.
films.
When it's it's like in a video game when you walk between corridors and you reload.
Yeah.
That's what they do between scenes,
Sure.
presumably.
Oh, they just grab a new one off a
Charge pack.
stormtrooper.
Well, yeah, for dead people they've murdered. You know what I didn't see in this film that I was disappointed by?
What?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Wow.
That's really bad. It's
Wow,
really
mid-sentence.
late.
It is that time of night.
What was I gonna say? I'm putting my face in my pop filter. Fuck. We were talking about guns,
Guns.
stormtroopers, charge packs.
Reloading between
Ooh,
scenes.
I have no idea.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I did say on the way out. Fucking lots of capes in this film, and that's good.
Lots of capes.
So many
Yeah.
capes.
Good capes.
Lots of capes.
Lots of weirdly textured capes,
Mm.
like the main white guy.
Lots of
with the,
rubber
like-
people as well.
Sorry.
That cape
Rubber
flared out
people.
a lot.
Lots of rubber people.
Yeah,
Lots of
rubber
weird
people.
capes. I didn't like when the capes got wet and they kind of stuck to them. And I was
Well,
like,
that's what capes
that's what
do.
capes do.
I understand. That's why you don't wear a cape. It looks weird.
Well, characters in Star Wars wear
Ugh.
capes though.
Yeah, and they
that's-
should.
It's the price of looking cool. Okay.
That's true. And also, to be fair, if Darth Vader got wet with the cape, it'd get real weird because he'd just like stick to his metal body.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Can
Yeah.
he be in the rain? Does his circuits
Does
get
he
wet?
rust?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
It's
good question.
probably waterproof.
Maybe he just uses the Force to like make a little umbrella.
I know, but it's like in Harry Potter.
Yeah,
but it's
like a
just
little
him
magic
walking
umbrella.
like that, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing, Darth?" He's like, "I don't want to talk
I
about
cannot get wet.
it." I can-
He's like the Witch of
My
the West.
suit.
They
Yeah.
should have just thrown a bucket of water on him.
That's like a great prank,
Just
and then
like
he just
rust, he's like,
malfunctions. And the Emperor's like, "You fools! What have you done? Get a towel. Do it. Do it.
Quick, put him in some rice.
Put him in a bucket of rice. Do it. Do it now." And they're like, "All right, sorry, Darth. It was just a sweet prank." Oh dear. Look.
Oh, goodness.
All right, what's the final verdict? Did we have fun?
Yes, it's a good
Yeah,
film.
it was good. It worked. Pacing.
Yeah,
characters, Story worked.
It did all the things it should have done.
It exceeded my expectations because it's
We set
Of
them very
course,
low.
yeah.
To be fair.
a good thing to do.
Yeah, not good. You know what?
Better
I was,
or worse than episode 7? It's different. I think it's different.
It's a different
It's
ballpark.
kind of hard. To
It's a
say,
completely
really.
different
Well,
type of
it's
film.
it's also trying to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No open
Hmm.
scroll, which was like
Man,
Yeah, that
people
was-
people made noises.
people were
I mean,
like,
I was
"Where
just
is it?"
like, well, they kind of don't need it.
No,
We
because it's
know
not an
where
episode.
it's at.
Yeah.
Like,
They still
we
had.
did talk about in beforehand. We did talk about whether people who weren't Star Wars fans are going to go see this in the weeks to come and be like,
"Where's
why
Kylo
aren't they fighting
Ren?"
Kylo Ren or whatever?
Yeah.
Because there's no opening scroll. And I get why they didn't to differentiate it from the main series, but
yeah.
if anything was going to need it, it's the side films.
Yeah.
I
I
just
mean, the scrolling text, it generally will introduce like the state of the world at the moment, and the
Mm.
problem is because it jumped back and forth in time so much.
oh, you're not wrong. Fuck, I
You
didn't even
know,
think of that.
Yeah. True.
There was like the opening sequence where
Damn it,
she's
Laura,
all,
you make a
like-
really good point. Yeah, fuck, you're right, because that's like way in the past.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I was disappointed by? That wasn't, well, actually, that all was wasn't that a dream sequence?
No, it wasn't.
No, it was
There
kind of
was
just
a
an
dream
intro.
sequence later.
That's right.
But-
I was,
It was.
one of my predictions was that all of the past would be a dream sequence, but
It wasn't. It was the pre-title card.
Yes, which, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And then
Good
he was
film.
like, we've got a long journey ahead of us.
Yeah.
And then it was like, Rogue One.
Rogue One.
I thought that. Can I complain about the title of the film? Is that
Yeah,
alright?
It's real
Go
dumb.
ahead.
Why call it that?
Because it's their call sign.
Just call it Star Wars. We got the Death Star plans or whatever. Like
We did it.
I don't know. Or like yeah. I mean, I guess what else do you call it? But
I
if
mean,
you were gonna
give
make
it
an Obi-Wan,
edgy name.
the Han, like call it, like the Han Solo film was gonna be called the Han Solo film. Well, it's not.
It's
but
not. They're gonna find
gonna
a
be
dumb
called-
name for that too.
Han
they should
Solo.
call it the Han Solo film.
It's
Because how good of a title is that? But
the
uh,
Solo Adventures of Han Solo.
it'll be
and
like
Friends.
it'll be like Han Solo with Star Wars story or whatever. But they didn't put a Star Wars story in the title, did they? It was just Rogue One.
Technically,
It was
it is.
Star Wars Rogue One.
No,
Was it?
it's
Was it?
Rogue One: A Star Wars Story.
Was
That
it-
is-
it
was
that
at the
is
bottom,
title.
No, but in the actual title,
No, it was just Rogue One.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
Rogue
the
One.
title card was just Rogue One.
It was
Right.
just
Like,
Rogue One.
if you're going into the film,
already
you
forgotten
know
that.
it's Star
Yeah.
Wars, though.
But like,
No, yeah, you bought the tickets.
all of the posters have like Rogue One,
A
Star Wars story.
And it's actually, I think it's an interesting distinction because what it gives them the option to do, and if you're listening, executives over at Star Wars, what I want to
Over
see,
at
yeah,
the Star Wars company.
the Disney Star Wars company.
Yeah.
What I want to see, or what I would like to see, is kind of taking a bit of a Netflix approach and taking the smaller side stories from the canon
Serialize it.
and serializing some stuff and seeing what you can do in that space.
Yeah.
But that means you run the risk of making too much Star Wars, which they're already running the risk of doing.
Oh no, making more money. What an absolute horror.
Yeah, good point. But no, I mean, yeah, I would like to see some of that kind of leak in a bit. Maybe some, because they did it. They touched on stuff. Fucking C-3PO was in this fucking film, and
Yeah,
it.
fuck that.
I
was.
I mean, it was
Oh.
just a small
I mean,
cameo.
he is because that's where he
I've-
was at that time.
No, I get it,
period.
but I've never been more furious at 10 seconds of cinema.
Yeah.
'Cause it
the
happened,
moment he came
and
out,
I was like, I
nah.
thought we got off scot-free. I thought we
Yeah,
did it. I
I
thought we
thought we
did
were
a film
safe.
without him.
Without the callbacks.
We also had the.
Not because there were tons. We got
There were
Blue
a couple
Milk.
of
There were tons of
memes.
callbacks.
Well,
We
but
got-
it was the C-3PO doesn't need to be in every film.
we got
He's
It's
the
a
worst
Trap.
character.
we
True.
got a. I have a bad feeling about this, which was.
But they
Well,
did
that
it.
was
They
kind
did
of
it well. That
They
was real
did
good.
that.
I was
Like,
like,
no,
you
shut
cheek.
up.
Yeah,
I kind of
it
did
was
that
like,
thing.
"Shh."
I kind of flirted with the film. I was like, you cheeky film. I
Yeah.
like that. It was very, yeah.
It was very tongue in cheek. Yeah.
But yeah, they had like blue milk that they were drinking at.
Yeah, the blue
Yeah.
milk.
Which I was like, it was
They-
white.
they-
It was white
yeah.
in the original film. I'll say that. It's
Yeah,
never blue.
they-
It's only blue in the prequels. Why is it blue in the prequels? I don't
Blue
know.
milk.
It's white in the. It's just milk in the original series.
Well, maybe it's milk from a different planet. Who
A blue
knows?
blue
But
cow
like,
milk.
what makes it blue if it's just milk from blue cows? You're not
Blue
probably not
cows.
wrong. Would blue cows produce blue milk?
Yes.
Well, that depends on the biology.
Brown cows produce brown milk.
They don't. They produce normal milk. That I
Kinda
know
gross,
about.
I'm sorry.
I've never milked a cow. So
It's probably not actual cows. It's like space cows.
space cow.
Space
Oh
cows.
fuck. Star Wars.
Space manatee.
Star Wars. Space cows. A Star Wars story. I'd see
Star Wars
that.
story.
Just a
Well,
bunch of
like,
cows.
is that the Star Wars equivalent of bat cow?
I was thinking more. You fill a spaceship with cows, and it's sort of like a buddy cop,
just see what
where one of the
happens.
cows is
Oh
in
my God.
charge,
Oh
and
my
he's got a
God.
partner who's also like another cow that's in charge. Like he's like a second in command, and they have to go around the ship solving cow crimes.
Like,
What?
who ate all the grass?
Yeah.
That was my patch of grass.
And then you got to find out who ate all the grass, and it's like a buddy cop fun comedy sort
Yeah.
of thing.
That'll never get made.
It'll sell. Trust us.
We'll see, Laura. We'll see. I know Star Wars is listening. The general Star Wars. No, look, we're gonna go die.
that
Yeah.
time of the day.
It's the time of the
Morning.
Listen,
I mean, it's not night
It
anymore.
is now Thursday.
it's technically still night. Sun's.
Sun is
Soon.
slowly coming.
Give it
up.
like an hour and a bit.
yeah.
No, look. Okay, so we liked it.
It was a good film.
I still, you know what? I didn't fall asleep, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's like a no one. Everyone's surprised by that. But yeah,
Oh wait, do I have to? I have to like.
what?
I have to clarify. This
What?
this is my film of the year. This is over Fantastic Beasts. Timeline. This is
Oh,
coming
fuck.
out.
Are you gonna?
So
It's kind of
in like 2 weeks or like next week, we're
Next
doing
week.
our top 100, and
It's not top 100. It's just top stuff.
of 2016, top 100.
And you were like
It's
fantastic.
not a
and
top
I was
100
like,
all
well,
time.
spoiler alert, I was like Fantastic Beasts because we hadn't seen this by now.
You did preface it. You were like, what if
I did
it's Rogue One?
preface that Rogue One may beat this. Rogue One did beat that.
What was my film of the year?
I think you just gave it to Captain America.
That
'Cause you're a
seems,
schmuck.
that seems dumb.
You just gave it to Captain
I'm
America.
not changing my mind. I stand firmly with past David or future David. If you're listening to this, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
It's gonna be a
I stand
wild
firmly
time.
with all
Confusing
Davids.
Conversation.
Sure.
yeah. Look, other words. Do all the social. Yeah, good. We're on the social places. Go find
Twitter,
us. It's in the show notes.
Facebook.
No, I'm not doing the plugs. It's
All right.
late. Yeah.
All right,
good.
good night.
Yeah.